영원히 stay gold and never let go.
Hi, so we're gonna do episode 3 of Produce X 101, our thoughts, a review, recap, what have you. So we're just gonna get it through. So the episode started off with the X class, and everyone in their interviews was like really sad, scared. There was lots of tears, and I don't know if I've like gotten more emotional over the years or what, but like seeing these people cry made me really sad, and I ended up crying once again. And it's only episode 3. I'm not supposed to be crying in episode 3. I'm supposed to be crying in episode 11. Duh. Also, they keep using that piano riff, which was heard in the Goblin OST. So I'm like, can you please stop with that? But like, I don't know if I'm just a more emotional person these days or what. I just don't know. So after that, like they're all like, "Ooh," and then they showed that the trainees were calling their parents and shedding more tears. And I was like, oh my gosh, tears on top of tears on top of tears. No more tears left to cry. But thankfully, some of these trainees and some of their parents was like, we're not going to cry today. We're going to give us something to laugh about. And I was like, thank goodness, because I needed a break from all that heaviness. So the two that really stood out to me, Ju Chong-wook, the Woolim trainee, his mom was like, Lee Dong-wook is the host or whatever. She was like, get his autograph. And I was like, you know what? Same. And then Dong-pyo and his mom, that was really cute. She was like, you never tell me you love me. He's like, oh, you only want me to tell you I love you because it's going to be on national broadcast. It was cute. It was a cute and fun moment. And then the trainers sit down in that room to watch the reevaluation videos. So Kim Hyunbin, D-Class, Source Music. He showed a lot of good improvement, really strong. Definitely deserved to go up in the rank in the classes. We'll talk about him more later on. Another one that stood out to me was the YG trainee Wang Junhao, the Chinese one. He didn't do a good job in the video. He like stopped dancing partway through and just was standing there. So it was a little like, I mean, while 3 days isn't a lot to learn a new song and dance, it really just separates the trainees who are quick learners versus those who are not, and versus those who are putting in a lot of effort and those that are maybe not putting in as much or as much as needed. So, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. So then they move on to announcing the new ranks for the trainees, and it was announced that only 15 trainees could be in the A rank, and I'm just like, why is there a set limit? That made no sense to me. Like, I don't know. If there was more than 15 that deserved to be in the A, then there should have been. But, you know, who knows? That was just so weird. I don't, maybe it was a lost in translation or something, but it just sounded weird to me. But anyways, 15 trainees. And everyone was surprised when the X class trainees showed up and was like, we never went home. You thought? So the Starship guy, Hyungjun, he got into the D class. Woolim Hwang Yun-sung, he also got into the D class. I felt a little bad because both Dong-yoon and Chong-wook were like, boy, what you doing here? And that was like, you know, that was a sad moment. You know, that's a sad moment. That just like gave me flashbacks to Produce 101 season 2 when they were watching Baekho and Ren do the reevaluation videos, and they were messing up a lot and not being able to do the dance and sing, and Jonghyun was basically just like this, and I was like, that it got me in the feels with the Williams. And also it got me in the feels when Hyungjun and the Kang Min-hee, I think that's his name, not Koo Jung-mo, but the other X-class Starship trainee, they hugged Ham Wonjin and Moon Hyun-bin, and they were all like crying, and I was like, stop, damn. So at the very end, the ghost trainee Lee Song-ho and then JYP, that trainee, they were the only two that did not get out of the X. The JYP guy, he got booted down to an X, and then the other one was an X from the beginning. And I was just, I couldn't feel too bad for them. Honestly, I couldn't feel too bad. I felt more embarrassed. Like, that's embarrassing. Out of all 101 trainees, you two were the only two that couldn't get it up to at least F? Shoot. That should tell you something. That should be like a slap in the face awakening. Anyways, that just meant that they didn't get to perform on the GMA stage, and they don't deserve it, so I can't feel too bad for them. So then we get to see the stage set up and see where they get to stand on the stage. F class is the backup dancers, once again, as if there's anything different. So they announced the 3 trainees that were considered for the center, because they narrowed it down from all the A class. So it was Dongpyo, Wooseok, and then Shihoon, brand new music. And then Dongpyo ultimately got the center part, obviously, but during the rehearsal, he was kind of slacking with the arms and stuff, and he was real discouraged, but he pulled through, and they did a good job. And it was great. And now, after all of that is over, we move on to the Group X battle. So there was a twist this year, because all the other previous years, the people only get to choose their 7-member group. This time, the person that got their name picked to choose their members on the team got to choose their team, and then what would ultimately be the opponent, the opposite team that they would be going up against. So they got to choose a total of 12 to 14 members. Dongpyo got to choose first because he's the center, and they did a little flashback to how Daehui and Sakura did the Avengers, and he was like, I want to make an Avengers team too. And honestly, I feel like that is just so played out at this point. It's so played out, because there's always a team that is stronger than the one that made the so-called Avengers team. I don't know, it just and like all the Avengers teams usually were chosen off of popularity, not really taking into consideration talent. Dongpyo, the first person you chose was Koo Jungmo, and the only reason Koo Jungmo was popping is because people thought he was cute. So there's a lot of that, and it's always there is always a team that is stronger than the Avengers. The Avengers is never the strongest team in the group battle competition. Justice League, y'all remember season 2, Hwang Min-hyun, he did that. Anyways, so the groups that get to have their songs played on the show is EXO, BTS, 101, Newest W, which made me really happy because Newest W got to be in the same name list as a 101, as a BTS, or as an EXO as well. And then 17 got 7 in Monsta X. So it was basically the debut song versus a popular song. Popular-ish. I don't know. Love Shot. I mean, it's a good song, but I personally would have gone with something like an Overdose, a Growl, or a Mom, or a Monster. Technically, if I was gonna choose a song for the popular song for EXO, just my opinion. And for 17, I would definitely not have chose Clap. No, I would have chose Don't Wanna Cry or something like that. Anyways, they then start practicing, choosing the parts, choosing who's the center, who's the leader. Lullaby team is very vocally heavy. They're vocal strong, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing, because too many vocalists might mean get a little bit confliction on who wants to sing what and who gets to showcase what. Anyways, then we move on. Byung-chan, the Victon member, he's chosen for the center of Girls, Girls, Girls. All of their facial expressions when they were competing to see who could be the center, when they were trying to be sexy with all the lip bites and suggestive looks, it was extremely hard to watch. I just found it really cringy, and I would have walked out the room because I was if I was there in person, because that was really cringy. We don't need to see that. So then we got No More Dream for BTS, and only Kim Hyunbin from Source Music knew the song. And you know what? This also was the same for the people that got the Trespass song for Monsta X. They were oh, we don't know the song. Just for Mama, they were And I was just if you so desperately wanted to be in a boy group, wouldn't it do you well to be thoroughly knowledgeable in the music of the most popular boy groups? Sure, when BTS debuted, no one and their mother barely gave 2 shits about them, but that is their debut song. Without that song, who knows what could have happened. So like, if you really wanted to be in a boy group so bad, wouldn't you study the ones that's popping now to see what they did and what they went through? Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion. Then they talked about the 17 ones and the trainee that did the siren performance, Kwon Taehyun. He revealed he had bad eyesight. I don't want to be mean, but I'm really over him. Like, I don't know. It just pissed me off. Like, if you weren't squinting all the time and maybe you got glasses or contacts, you might be able to see better. You can't live your whole life looking through an eye smile. Like, literally, his eyes is always like this. Like, no. His team consisted of people that did not want to do clap and wanted to do adore you, but he couldn't see good enough that the people that he was choosing were like, don't choose me, fool. So I was like, boy, bye. One-on-one teams. So the Cracker Entertainment trainee is the center that got chosen for light, and they were like going over the song while sitting down, and yikes, he has a lot of work to do because he could not even get barely any words, and it was bad. And then Monsta X Drama Rama. So the trainee Kim Kwang-woo is the center. He's happy about it because it's like his favorite song or something. Good for you. Definitely not someone that I'm checking for, and I don't know. He don't look like my cup of tea. But there's gonna be clashes between him and then the leader, Oh Sebum, because both of them know the choreography and both of them seem to have conflicting ideas. Oop. Drama. Like, out of all the, like, drama that Mnet always, like, edits to make it look like it's more fierce than what it is, the Kim Kwang-woo guy, he really looked like he was getting really pissed off with, the leader, and I was just like, ooh, if it comes to blows, y'all better have it on film. So Love Shot, they chose Wooseok as the center, and I was like, okay, do your thing. So then the trainees that got the newest W songs, they were all the trainees that didn't get picked during the team making, and I was like, oh man, you know, that is really shitty. I would understand. I would feel a little bad too, but it's also your chance to prove that it was their loss that they didn't pick you, so it's time to stop moping. Also, in the reevaluation videos, the one trainee, Kim Minso Urban Works, he wanted to lift up his shirt during the Chima performance when he was like dancing, and I was just like, boy, there was nothing to see. Stop embarrassing yourself. If you gotta use a gimmick like that, make sure you got something to show. Jin Hyuk Wei of Uptension is chosen as the center for Boss, and then they're like, oh, this is a very rap heavy song and we got a lot of vocals, but then Johan was like kind of doing the rap part, and they were like, do you want to do the rap since you sounded decent? Like, he was like, no, I'm trying to be a singer, and I was like, girl, you need to get what you need to get, because And then they just move on to the day of the performances. So the Mama team is the first one to go. So during the dance training for the EXO songs, we get Bae Junyoung. She was the season 1 dance trainer along with Kahi, and she is back. She is fierce. She is that. Every trainee, when she walked into that room, was scared. They was shook. They was shooketh. She ain't one to mess with. Like, if you fucking suck, she's gonna tell you, you fucking suck. So the initial practice for Mama was really rough. They were really bad, and she basically was like, I can't give any input because all of you guys are really bad. And then and she was like, does anyone know any of the song? And the Hwang Yun song, he was like, he knew it. And she was like, you know what? Okay. Honestly, if he was the one that was taking all this time to learn the dance while everyone was like wasting a bunch of time, he should have been the leader. And then the JYP guy, he was the center and the main vocal. He sounded good. Too bad he screwed it up for himself. Overall, when they was performing, I thought the performance was pretty good. Mama is not an easy song to pull off. Like, there's a lot of high notes. It's a lot of movements. It's a difficult song. So Love Shot, everyone in the practicing appeared to be pretty prepared for it. They had a lot of people that have been training for a long time. And then there was Lee Sejin. So he basically was the the less prepared one, and he had to get a lot of help from his team, which made him feel bad. But in the end, he pulled through, and I really enjoyed the Love Shot performance. All of them looked so good. The only qualm I have is in the music video, when they was wearing them colored suits, there was a lot more chest showing, and there's a lot of people in this one that was turtlenecked up. I was like, let us see some fucking skin. But anyways, they looked good. They sounded good. It was a strong performance, and they pulled off the sexy concept extremely well. And the MBK training, Lee Hong-kyo, he had that husky voice, and I was living for it. I was like, ooh, I sees you. So the Love Shot team won by a lot. Wooseok, he got 1,002 votes. That was the most votes out of that whole performance. While then Mama, the highest voted trainee, was Yoonsung with only 99. So that shows there was a drastic difference. And it was very interesting to me because the YG trainee, the Japanese one who was on the Mama team, he didn't even make double-digit votes. So yikes. Anyways, then they went into BTS. So then it showed the No More Dream team, and it looked like Hyunbin was the only one that was prepared, and everyone else was not looking so hot during the vocal rap training lessons. They were like, why is no one prepared? Only Hyunbin is prepared. And then they were doing the dance, practicing the dance in the practice room, and he lost it. He got frustrated, and he was basically like, why are we taking the time to do this? And it was a little intense. The only thing I noticed for this one, there was like a lot of talking in the practice rooms and stuff for these trainees, and there was no like, who is talking? And I was just like, okay, we know Hyunbin clearly, but then when the other people was talking, like the leader and stuff, they didn't put the little like Korean at the thing that said whose name it was. So I was like, how are we supposed to get to know these people if you're not even putting who's who? Mnet, come on. Anyways, their performance was really good. It was a good performance. Hyunbin, he really took the spotlight. Like, his energy was on point, 110, 100. He was not playing no games. Everyone did a really good job. Especially the guy that did all the high notes. Like, he was killing it. And then I really liked that Stephen Kim trainee. He was doing a pretty good job as well. And then, so that was basically the end of the episode. They were like, blood, sweat, and tears to be continued. So next week we'll see the rest of the performances. We saw that there was like some mic issues in the lullaby performance from Yuvin, and that made me really sad and mad because he is so talented, and I don't want this little blip of technical mic issues to harm his ranking or his votes, because he really deserves it. He's really strong. So the other ranks, so Song Hyungjun, he moved up to number 4. And then Lee Eun-sung, Brand New Boys, Brand New Music, he got booted down to number 3 because Johan remained first, and then Mingyu went back up and claimed 2nd. Overall, I really want to see more of the Woollim Boys, like Moon Junho, Cha Junho, Kim Dong-yoon, and Cha Jung-wook. Jung-wook? What, you know. Anyways, because like Mnet has barely shown them. This was the first time we got to see so much of Jungwook. Ju Changwook? Changwook? Oh, oops, my bad. Ju Changwook. Like, this was the first episode we got to see so much of him in an interview or in anything. So I was like, come on, Mnet, what are you doing? Okay, we've seen enough of Hwang Yoon-sung. Okay, we get it. He's a Woollim. Y'all clearly like him for some reason. We saw Kim Min-soo in the first episode. Now it's time to see Cha Junho. Like, Mnet, I would have thought Mnet would have gotten a clue from, like, these initial buzz for the show that they should have been hot. Because Mnet is always a favoritism bitch. Mnet is always a favoritism hoe. Like, they should have saw that Cha Junho was getting so much buzz prior to the show airing that they should have at least given him, like, 2 seconds of screen time. Give him something, man. Also, I had another qualm that Mnet has shown significant amounts of all the Starship trainees practicing in the confessionals, etc. They even showed Koo Jung-mo finally in the confessionals when he was like upset that he didn't get picked for boss. They've shown all of the Starship trainees. They've shown extreme amount of Song Hyunjin, and we've seen a good amount of Ham Wonjin as well. And we've seen the other one in the confessional, but they still have not given Moon Hyun Bin like barely any time. You could show, like, if you could show the other 4 of them, you could show him 2 for at least 5 seconds. Like, that was really pissing me off. Thank goodness he became the center for Blood, Sweat, and Tears, because he deserves something, and he needs to let these bitches know that you're voting for all of these Starship boys, but you need to really be voting for him, because he's the one out of everyone that seemed to have the most amount of talent. Like, Mnet highlighted that Ham Wonjin moved up to A. Yes, he moved up to A. Good for him. But also, Moon Hyun Bin, he moved up to A as well. They literally showed Kim Hyun Bin and Ham Wonjin, the 2 D ranked trainees. Oh my gosh, we have 2 D ranked trainees moving up to the A class. Though, there was 3. You just completely skipped over him. And I was like, boy, come on. He deserves so much better. If you watched his introduction video, he sounded so good with the singing, and I want to see more. So I hope with this Blood, Sweat, and Tears performance, Korea starts opening their eyes and seeing that he is the Starship training that shouldn't be the lowest in the overall votes. It needs to be someone else. You can decide who that is, but like, he needs to be up there. He needs to move up. He needs to move up. And since they're not showing barely any of the Woolen boys, all of their rankings are falling, and I'm just like, can you get it together? You're showing a lot of trainees. You wanted to get rid of all the evil edits. That's why the episode is 2 hours and 30 fucking minutes. But you're still only showing us like 10 people each episode, and it's usually the same 10 motherfuckers we've been seeing since the very beginning. Like, come on now, Mnet, do better. Do better. The screen time needs to do better. Shit. Alright. I am exhausted just recapping and reviewing. Produce 101 is a draining ass show. The episodes are so long. I'm like, do I really have to sit through 2 hours and 30 minutes of crying? Recycled storylines. Give us something new. Give us something new. There's always, each season, the main vocal gets chosen, but the other person that also wanted to be main vocal doesn't, but he's probably better. And there's always the trainee that clashes with the leader because he thinks he knows everything when the leader also knows everything. Predictable storylines. Where's something fresh? Where's something new? I need a storyline that's like so out the box, so left field that I'm just like, oh, this is new. This has never happened before. Give us something. We need to see something new, because this is the 4th season where you've been giving us the same old bullshit. I like that you did an X class and switched it up with that, but you need to start switching up these storylines, because everyone's storyline is becoming very played out real quick. All right. So leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let's discuss. Who are you rooting for? Who do you hope makes it? What did you think of the performances for Mama, Love Shot, and No More Dream? No More Dream. Let's discuss, and I will see you on the next video for episode 4. Bye.
I wanna breathe, just set me free. 날 숨쉬게 할 rhythm and beat.